Tonight on CTV, we will take a look at how the new Fort Collins policy could mean that you could get another roommate.
Then we'll dive right into how residents of Fort Collins can check out not just books, but Chromebooks from the library. Along with this, find out how you can have a socially distant Valentine's Day in Loveland.
All that and more on CTV News starting right now.
Good evening, Rams. I'm Kenneth Frederick.
And I'm Westyn Hubbard. We're so glad you could join us here tonight for the first Thursday news show of the 2021 spring semester.
The library may have been a place just to check out books in the past, but now Fort Collins residents will be able to check out Chromebooks for the first time ever at the Old Town location, thanks to the help of the CARES Act and COVID relief funds.
Traditionally, patrons of the library would come here in order to use technology for accessing the internet. But with these new items, people won't have to stick around to use the library's computers.
Laptops such as these will help library goers get a more convenient and flexible access to computers outside of the ones permanently inside the building.
Eileen McCluskey, the manager of the Old Town Library, says that the devices are meant to give those without the means to use computers an opportunity to do so anywhere.
It's free, it's available for everybody, and so it's a really important function of a community to provide that access to people who don't have it.
The funds to create this new program have come in an effort to increase digital equity in the community. The city hopes that the Chromebooks will be helpful in narrowing the digital divide that was emphasized by the COVID-19 pandemic. With more and more activities like town hall meetings and a whole world full of Zoom events being moved to and created online, it seems like everything is being hosted on the internet these days. People now, more than ever, are in need of a solid internet connection and a computer to use it.
The digital divide is very, very real, and we see it here every single day.
Anyone with a library card can check out one of the 16 available Chromebooks from the library's Gadgets and Things collection. To get a library card, simply visit one of the 3 libraries in Fort Collins and bring photo ID and a proof of a Colorado address.
The Old Town Library is the only place at the moment with Chromebook rentals. The Council Tree and Harmony libraries will follow if there is enough community interest in the program.
According to source.colostate.edu, Colorado State University has delivered samples of COVID-infected wastewater to state health officials in an effort to improve detecting and testing for the virus. You may recall that last semester there were multiple breakouts of the virus detected in the wastewater samples in several different dorm halls. So seeing CSU step up and try and add a better effort to detect these flare-ups may help prevent future cases and even possibly introduce a better support system from a campus as a whole.
Fort Collins voters can expect to see a proposed measure to ban single-use plastic bags from grocery stores. The ban would be placed on grocers that operate in buildings with 10,000 square feet or more. The council will also be able to add the law in the future to ban other plastic-based items such as straws and non-reusable silverware. The ballot item passed 5-2 on Tuesday's council meeting and is waiting for its second reading on February 16th. If passed again, the item will be placed on the ballot for April 6th municipal election. It will then be up to Fort Collins voters to determine if the ban will end up taking.
With COVID having put a lot of people out of work, a problem that has been constantly on the minds of people is money. Alongside that comes a problem of affording many different things, one of the most important being housing. And while Fort Collins may have an affordable living problem, a plan to solve it may be finally being worked on.
It's not always affordable for me, but it's not like people can just make the rent less, honestly.
Rams, I'm sure you've noticed just as well as I have. It's pretty cold outside lately. It looks sunny out there right now, but it's not perfect. And you could probably use some money right now to buy yourself like a nice winter coat, but most of that money is actually probably going towards like rent. The Coloradan recently reported that rent from 2010 to 2020 increased by a rapid 68%, and that only about 20% of the rentals cost less than $1,000 a month that are offered in Fort Collins as of right now. Individuals from the Fort Collins community had some opinions about housing costs and what it means to pay that rent.
I mean, the city is constantly trying to make improvements and increase quality of life, and I think that just causes increased cost of living.
When asked about the Me+3 law that could replace the U+2, Andrew Hemperly had this to say.
I think that most of the homes in Fort Collins are designed to have capacity for more than 3 people. So.
ASCSU are the ones that are looking to take charge with the Colorado and talking about their efforts to get the Me+3 law onto the April ballot, and their further opportunities to get the proposal onto the later ones.
We should be more accommodating towards people who have different definitions of family than the standard, like mom and dad and 2 kids model.
This has been Westyn Hubbard reporting for CTV Channel 11.
With all the great inclusions that are going to go into this new reformed action plan of the original Affordable Housing Plan of 2015, and thanks to the power of the community and even CSU students, positive money-saving actions may be available in the near future.
Over 300 Larimer County businesses will now be moving to threat level yellow restrictions, thanks to a county-wide program called Level Up. The program allows establishments that hit specified criteria to operate under yellow level restrictions, which allow for things like higher capacity limits and more people inside businesses. Places that sell alcohol can also push back their last call from 10 to 11. Level Up will also affect more than just restaurants and bars, however. Places from antique stores to trampoline parks will be able to move to the lesser restrictions if they are certified by the county.
I'm just really excited to go on a trampoline park again. I really like trampoline parks.
I think I'm really just excited about businesses opening back up because it means that I can go back to my favorite restaurants again that, we're just too busy to go to previously.
Yeah, 100%. No more door dashing.
Absolutely.
About how things opening back up as the weather gets nicer. The COVID-19 pandemic has proved to be a hassle for many of our everyday activities and pastimes. For students, there's been changes to school curriculum and protocols implemented, like mask wearing and social distancing. And for one group of students here at CSU, the pandemic has meant those changes and more.
Here at CSU, music students are finding strength in the music they love, but COVID has also presented challenges and changes that they need to adapt to.
Of the changes have had to been with wind instruments and singing. A lot of those instruments are high emitters, and so it's kind of difficult to have a bunch of singers in a room or a bunch of wind instruments in a room, spreading a bunch of air everywhere. At first it was a little difficult just to adjust, but I think now it's I think I'm just more excited to finally be able to be playing with other people and finally be able to make music. Last semester we were able to play a lot, so I think now that this semester we made some changes, it's a lot better.
One of the joys of making music is the fact that it doesn't have to require anyone else. I think solo music making can be a really rewarding and valuable thing, and I know getting to kind of hone in on my own personal individual solo performance and my own personal practice has been kind of an unexpected perk of this time because I'm not as committed to ensembles or other group performances.
As for Hannah's thoughts about whether it's worth it or not to go into the music program, here's what the program would entail.
I would say if you're really dead set on going into music and it's something that you're really, really convinced that you love and you want to do, I would say go for it.
All in all, after speaking with CSU music students, it is evident that CSU is doing their best to ensure that music can be played and shared during pandemic times.
Don't go anywhere, Rams.
We have your weather forecast provided by Walt Bocart right after this.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up 1 finger if you're a man. Women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60. 2 over 50. 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Hello
everybody, I am Will Buchart here to talk with you about some of the weather we got going on. This is what it is like outside right now, everyone. It was one of those weird Colorado days, lots of sun but very cold outside. It's obviously getting colder as we go into the evening, 32 right now, a little bit of wind, not too bad. And the sunset, 5:22, a little later than yesterday. We're starting to get a little bit more sun, but we're still in those dark winter nights. Let me move on to some satellite footage from our friends at NOAA. As you can see, this is cloud cover over the last 20 hours up until just about now. You can see just how long those night times are with that daytime just flashing in there at the very end of that loop. No clouds very much at all today. A little bit of cloud cover last night, but most of that big storm is moving out towards the east. You'll see on social media that winter storm that's going on right now. Let's take a look at the overnight lows for tonight. You can see along the front range here, the I-25 corridor, a lot of 20s you're seeing, Denver the warmest. Over in the mountains where I'm standing right now, very cold as expected. Grand Junction at 23 and Burlington right behind me at 21. Tomorrow's highs, on the other hand, front range is at 40s for the high tomorrow. Mountains are staying around the 20s and Grand Junction and the eastern side of Colorado all 30, 40. It's getting a little warmer, but we're not quite out of winter yet, everybody. Tomorrow's forecast, if we are looking at a high of 43, low of 21, a little bit of clouds, but it shouldn't snow. Unlike the mountains, they're getting snow tonight and tomorrow over there. A little bit of wind, definitely not as much as today and yesterday. It's been kind of awful, I know, but just a little bit of wind and sunset coming back up just a little bit more. For the 5-day, you can see that the weekend will be the warmest that we've got going on. 45 Saturday, 52 Sunday, but it cools back down going into next week. You can see 30 high with a 7-degree low on Tuesday. I am not excited for that, but I can't change it. So let's stick around for Kenny in Westyn to talk about the Valentine's love that's happening in Loveland.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. We have even more news for you, so let's jump right into it. Anyone looking for something to do in the weeks leading up to Valentine's Day can find plenty of activities 15 minutes to the south of Fort Collins in Loveland. The city is putting on a bunch of events like their Loveland Lights, where pink, red, and white attractions illuminate the Chipungu Sculptural Park. Anyone can visit the site between 5 and 9 at night until February 15th. Loveland has even more events, such as their Quest to Find Dan Cupid, a socially distant scavenger hunt app that takes searchers all around the town with the possibility of prizes for those who can complete the challenge. If you would like to know more or find out about Loveland's other events, you can go to visitlovelandco.org/events.
The wonderful W.M. Keck Foundation has donated a $1 million award to Colorado State University. This award comes with the ability for the foundation's hopes to progress CSU's ability to go ahead and study some rare sugars that are necessary to the fundamentals of biology. The award itself, according to source.colostate.edu, will be distributed to an ecosystem scientist, an analytical chemist, and 2 microbiologists. This is not the first time that the Keck Foundation has donated to CSU, as there have been 8 awards granted to CSU over a 20-year time span, and has continued to support CSU and has allowed them to work on and try and make great scientific breakthroughs.
Those of you making your commute out on Harmony will soon see a new restaurant in the Villaggio Shopping Center off of Harmony and Snow Mesa Drive. Chiba Hut, a chain with 2 locations right next to campus, will be getting a 3rd store. The new Chiba Hut will be getting an indoor and outdoor bar, as well as a to-go window for faster carry-out processes. The cannabis-themed restaurant will be opening up sometime in April, according to the founder, Scott Jennings, as he said in an interview with the Coloradoan. Weston, what is your favorite thing, like your favorite sandwich to get at Chiba Hut?
I don't even know what it's called, but it's got like some teriyaki chicken on there, onions, cheese. It's so good. I love it. What about you?
I'm a Panama Red guy. Get me a chicken parm sandwich any day of the week.
Okay, I respect it. I respect it.
Colorado State University is teaming up with the city of Fort Collins in order to promote environmental sustainability efforts. I had the chance to talk to Jensen Morgan, the Senior Sustainability Specialist for the City of Fort Collins, in order to better understand more about how Fort Collins and CSU are coming together to support SHIFT, a challenge-based environmental sustainability campaign.
Sustainability is about well-being in the long term. It's as simple as that. And the only way you can achieve well-being in the long term is to think about the balance between our economic health and well-being, as well as our environmental health and well-being, and then our social well-being as well. So we have launched at the beginning of January something called the Earth Day Challenge, which you can learn more about at fcgov.com/shift. That will tell you all about how the Earth Day Challenge works. And then if you want to actually join, you'll go to shiftfoco.com. And there you can join a platform where you can gamify climate action. There are over 73 different actions you can pick from in there, and you can earn points and win prizes and create teams with your friends. Partnering with ASCSU's Environmental Affairs Director, Sophia Shep, and she is getting the word out and has some very specific, cool CSU student prizes only CSU students can win. So definitely encourage folks to learn more, ask Sophia, or just join at shiftfoco.com.
This is Samantha Medley reporting for CTV Channel 11. Living sustainably is truly a lifestyle here at Colorado State University. Rams take care of Rams, but Rams also take care of the environment. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Samantha, for that. On Tuesday, February 2nd, a Fort Collins woman was arrested in Loveland based on charges of felony with menacing with a weapon. The report came in around 2:30 p.m. yesterday and was followed by more reports of individuals with possible motivation with weapons or acting dangerous within the community. It does appear the woman did fail to present a warrant for the weapon when asked to present said warrant. Further info has yet to be presented by the Loveland police. Following that, several leaders of the Fort Collins community took time to reflect upon the year that was 2020 and talk about the effect that it had on the community. They reflected specifically on 3 big topics that were talked about the most within the community, that being COVID, the Cameron Peak fires, and the racial movements done this year, notably the Black Lives Matter movement. They reflected upon these, but also weighed in hoping that people would not let these events taint their optimism for what is to come in 2021 and let the future as a whole be good. Well, alrighty, Rams, that's all the news we have for you tonight on Thursday night.
The Blitz with Brendon Fairbairn is up next, so stick around for all things sports.
Queen is just my everything. Right now, I wouldn't know where my life would be without her.
They say chivalry's dead. It's not. Terrence is a gentleman. He opens doors. His smile did it. His smile, his eyes, his knowledge. My landlord, he decided that he wanted me to move based on the fact that I was transgender. It takes me to a place of no hope. It takes me to a place of loneliness. It saddens me. When you discriminate against somebody in housing, where do these people go? Let's just respect people in everyday life for just being human.
Good evening, Ram fans. Welcome back to your Thursday night sports show, The Blitz Season 2. Hosted again by yours truly, Brendon Fairbairn. It feels so good to be back in the studio after a long winter break. With that being said, CSU football made some new moves to their offensive coaching staff. The men's basketball team travels to Laramie tonight for the 234th edition of the Border War. And I have a brand new segment to unveil for you all, so let's jump right into it. A new face at offensive coordinator isn't the only change coming to head coach Steve Adazio's staff on Tuesday. It was announced that former Ball State wide receiver Coach Alex Bailey is coming to Fort Collins to coach up the talented Ram wideouts. Bailey brings in years of experience from Valparaiso, Wayne State, and most recently Ball State, where he spent the last 6 seasons. During his time in Muncie, Bailey was able to coach up guys like Justin Hall, who was named to an All-MAC selection all 4 years of his career and finished as the nation's active leader in career receptions. With a long track record of developing record-breaking receivers, Bailey should have an immediate impact on a young Rams receiving corps that includes explosive third-year wideout Dante Wright. And CSU football isn't the only ball club on campus with up-and-coming talent. Colorado State men's basketball squad is 12-4 on the season, with 1 redshirt freshman, 2 sophomores, and 2 juniors in the starting lineup. The Rams take their talents to Laramie, Wyoming tonight to face border war rival, the Cowboys. Colorado State should win this game with ease, as long as they can stop the Pokes from shooting from the arc uncontested. The Cowboys are first in the Mountain West and 15th in the nation in three-pointers with 10.1 per game. But the Rams are first in the conference in three-point defense at 30.4%. This will be the key matchup throughout the game tonight. But the main focus will be on each team's dynamic duo. The Rams have sophomores Isaiah Stevens and David Roddy, who average a combined 31.5 points, 14.2 rebounds, and 9.3 assists per game. And then there's the Pokes. Their offensive success comes from freshman and junior guard Marcus Williams and Hunter Maldonado, who combine for an average 28.6 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists every night. I fully expect Roddy and Stevens to win a shootout thanks to their far better supporting cast. Moores and Thomas have a healthy rotation at the centered/forward position. Thistlewood and Moore are absolute snipers from the outside arc and gives good minutes on defense, with Thistlewood leading the team in blocks and Moore in steals. At the end of the day, it's a rivalry matchup on the road. CSU can't take Wyoming lightly, but the Rams have the edge on defense. As long as CSU fixes the turnover issues they had against Boise State, they should take the first match of this border war doubleheader. And now it's time to introduce my new favorite segment, Lock of the Week, where I pick my favorite game or player prop for the weekend. I will also be keeping a record of my picks to show you if you should ride or fade with my weekly bet. My first lock of the semester is for the big dance this Sunday between Kansas City and Tampa Bay. I really like Tyreek's over at 89.5 receiving yards. He's absolutely Mahomes' favorite deep threat target by far. Hill has hit the over in 7 games this season, and in both playoff games this year, he has had over 100 yards receiving, and most importantly, the last time these two teams met, Tyreek absolutely torched them for 203 yards in just the first quarter alone. He should hit this over very easily, as he gets around 8 to 9 receptions a game. I also expect this one to be a shootout, and Hill is a very important piece to Kansas City's game plan that likes to stretch the field and keep the box cleared from safeties. I am very confident in my first lock of the semester. It's just so hard to bet against the top passing offense in the league and a guy like Mahomes and a guy like Hill. Well, Ram fans, that's all the sports action I have for tonight. But don't go away just yet. Tom Isaacson has you covered for all the spice and entertainment.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back, Rams and Ram fans. My name is Tom Isaacson, and I'm here to give you all the entertainment news for tonight. So let's get this going. And we start with some sweet news. The Girl Scouts are back, and not even COVID-19 is going to stop them from feeding your sugar addiction. They've come up with great ways to get cookies in your hands, whether that be through things like contactless delivery, drive-through tents, and even online ordering. If you're interested, you can text cookies to 59618, go online, or even download their app. One thing is for sure, the Girl Scouts cookie plan isn't crumbling. Now, I'm sure many of you spent your time in quarantine or lockdown curled up streaming movies and TV. But obviously back in the dinosaur age of radio, that wasn't something people could do. But Debut Theater Company has come up with a fun way to bring a theater performance to your home by doing a sweet radio play performance, just like back in the day. Socially distanced actors performed It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas Eve. It was an early Christmas gift for listeners of KRFC 88.9 FM. This was their second performance they have done over the radio. It was written so it would feel like you were in the 1940s. That's not just retro, that's older than retro. But if we want to talk old school, we need to talk about a huge part of Fort Collins history. This is a bar many longtime residents hold near and dear and clearly weren't ready to let go of. It's so inspiring to see amazing people come together from far and wide to keep a part of Fort Collins history alive. Speaking of Fort Collins history, most of you are probably also familiar with a place called the Silver Grille. If you haven't been, it's a national hit. COVID-19 has caused many businesses to close during the lockdowns. But Esquire Network has come together to create a national list of restaurants America cannot afford to lose. And Fort Collins' own Silver Grille made the list. This restaurant, along with two others in Colorado, were featured on the list. I'm personally a fan of the cinnamon roll French toast or the club sandwich. So good. Just goes to show how special our little town really is. Now, something really cool that many may not know is that we have a growing and diverse film community right here in Fort Collins. But in times of COVID, premieres and special film events aren't really possible. But that didn't stop the Interfaith Solidarity and Accompaniment Coalition Fund from creating a documentary about the impact of COVID on Hispanic communities. The documentary premiered over a special Zoom party last Sunday. It shined light on racism and gentrification on historically Hispanic neighborhoods and what COVID's impact really was like for these parts of the city. Seeing talented people create such meaningful and impactful films about our community is just incredible. All right, Rams, that's all the time we have for you tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you next Monday. Have a great night.